A pleasant morning to all. So, our assigned topic is all about bioethical issues. So, bioethical issues is defined as the ethical dilemmas arising from advances in biology and medicine. So, it encompassing topics like abortion, euthanasia, transplantation, genetic medical procedure, cloning, assisted reproduction, and confidentiality. So, when we say bioethical issues, it is a study of complex moral and social issues. It is a field of ethics that practice professionalism. As mentioned sa PowerPoint, biology specialized field covered by anatomy, behavior, origin, and distribution, while medicine is a scientific approach that practice treatment and prevention of diseases.
Beginning of life issues. This involve moral and biological questions about how life starts, especially concerning abortion and assisted reproduction. What do you think about abortion? Abortion is the termination of a pregnancy. Sometimes it happens naturally, called spontaneous or also known as the miscarriage. But the ethical debate focuses on induced abortion, where pregnancy is ended intentionally. Key ethical questions include: does the fetus have moral standing? At what stage does it gain personhood? Under what condition is abortion morally acceptable? Next is the assisted reproduction. Some couples cannot conceive a child naturally, so they turn assisted reproductive technologies, methods of having a child without naturally intercourse. Common methods are artificial insemination by husband. The sperm is coming from their husband. Artificial insemination by the donor. The sperm is coming from the donor. IVF are also known as the in vitro fertilization. And next is the surrogacy. These are the ethical issues in assisted reproduction technology. This seen as unnatural. Second, may challenge the traditional concept of family. Third, can create negative views about infertile women. Suggests that not having children is a medical problem.
Cloning, derived from the Greek word clone, meaning twig. It is the process of creating genetically identical organisms. It has two main forms: reproductive cloning, which aims to produce a full organism, and therapeutic cloning, which focuses on generating cells and tissues for medical use. The ethical issues surrounding cloning include high embryo morality, birth defects, and theories of treating people like as a mere product. Reproductive cloning, in particular, raises concerns about children being valued for their genetic traits rather than their individuality, creating pressure and unrealistic expectations. Ethical thinkers such as Kant argue that humans should be treated with intrinsic dignity and not exploited for specific purposes. Organ transplantation, on the other hand, is a life-saving medical procedure in which a failing organ is replaced with a healthy one from a donor, either living or deceased. While it has the potential to prolong life, ethical issues arise from the organ shortages, questioning of fair allocation, and the possibility of donor exploitation. Strict regulations are in place to protect both donors and recipients. But some argues that these measures can slow progress and limit access. The challenge lies in balancing safety and fairness while addressing the urgent demand for organs. Promoting awareness about organ donation, encouraging volunteer donors, and preventing illegal organ trade are essential to ensuring that this medical practice remains ethical and beneficial to society.
So the next part of sustenance of life issues is the genetic medical procedures. So It is the advance in genetics have generated new medical procedure for dealing with disease attributed to gene defect. So meaning to say, it is the advancement of medical technologies or other medical field treatment to diseases. So there are types of genetic medical procedure, which is the genetic testing. So it detects inherited diseases such as breast cancer gene. Number 2 is gene therapy. So it fixes defective genes to cure diseases. The last one is genetic enhancement. So it improves traits such as intelligence and strength. So let's proceed to the next part of the sustenance of life issues, which is the healthcare resource allocation. So it is defined as the fair distribution of limited resources. So meaning to say, there is equality or pagkakapantay-pantay na distribution ng mga resources. For example, it involves the medicine, hospital care, and vaccine. So there is parang equal distribution sa lahat ng medicines na pinoprovide ng mga hospital.
End-of-life issues. End-of-life issues are ethical and medical concerns that happen when a person is near to death. These include decision and medical treatment, life support, and euthanasia. Euthanasia. So, euthanasia means intentionally ending someone's life to relieve them from a several pain of suffering. It is sometimes called mercy killing. Euthanasia is done to help a person who is in a great pain has no hope for recovery. The doctrine of double effect says it acceptable only if the goal is to lessen suffering pain, not to kill person directly. For example, when a patient is in extreme pain and wants to end life peacefully, euthanasia may be done to give relief, but is still a sensitive and debated issue. Brain death and vegetative state. So the brain death happens when all brain activity stops, even if machines keep the body alive. The person is already dead. So there are 3 types of death. So the first is cardiopulmonary death, heart and lung stop. Whole brain death, the whole brain stop working. Higher brain death, the person loses consciousness forever but the body functions continue. So the vegetative state is different. The person is alive and they can breathe or they can move, open their eyes, but they are not aware or responsive. They are not aware of their thinking because the brain is damaged. So for example, a patient after a heart accident may move or breathe but never wake up. That's a vegetative state. But if there's no brain activity at all, that's brain dead.
This information at research issues sa healthcare focusing sa truth-telling, informed consent, at confidentiality. These elements are crucial para sa pag-maintain ng ethical standards at patient trust sa medical field. Truth-telling at informed consent. Healthcare providers ay obligated na explain ang medical conditions honestly sa mga patients. Ito ay para ma-ensure ang patients ay may clear understanding ng kanilang health issues. Example, the doctor should explain what the illness is and what the possible treatments are. Dapat magbigay ng consent ang mga patients para sa kahit anong medical procedure o treatment pagkatapos na maipaalam ang mga potential risks, benefits, and alternatives. Ang informed consent ay isang foundation ng patient autonomy. Example, before the operation, the patient must sign a consent form. So, patungo naman tayo sa confidentiality. What is a confidentiality? Ang mga doctors ay bound sa pamamagitan ng isang professional oath para protektahan ang information ng patient. Ito ay para ma-ensure na ang personal at medical details ay mananatiling private at hindi binubunyag ng walang consent ng patient. Example, the doctor should not disclose the patient's medical history to his family unless the patient allows it. So, in conclusion, it's important to remember that bioethical issues reminds us that science and technology must always respect human dignity. Even though medical advances save lives, they also bring moral dilemmas. This means society must balance innovation with ethical responsibility by upholding human rights, providing equal healthcare access, and promoting respect for life at all stages. In short, we must make sure that as science and technology improve, we don't forget ethical values and respect for the life and rights of each other.